Your local Ashley HomeStore is spreading good news by bringing you Feel Good Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. I'm Nate Eaton, and we are in Blackfoot today for Feel Good Friday, about to tell you an incredible story of a man who literally saved the life of a stranger just yesterday. Brad Pearson lives here at this home, and he has been working from home for several months. He has long-haul COVID, so he has a lot of exhaustion. He's recovering from COVID. He was working at his kitchen table when he heard some noise outside, and he went to the door, and there was some workers in this field. One of them called out to Brad that they needed help because the other man had collapsed and did not have a heartbeat. Well, Brad left his house, came across the street, and for several minutes did chest compressions, did CPR to keep this man alive or to try to get a pulse back while he was on the phone with 911. Now this, anytime you've done CPR, it's very exhausting. And of course, if you have chronic fatigue and issues from long-haul COVID, it's even more exhausting. But Brad was able to keep it going. The paramedics arrived, and this man survived thanks to Brad. In fact, the doctor told the man's kids that it was those chest compressions that kept the man's going, kept his heart going. Otherwise, he might not be here. It's an incredible story. We want to thank Brad for what he's done and also raise some awareness on the importance of knowing and learning CPR. We hope that Brad's home right now. We just found out about this story, came out to Blackfoot. We're going to thank him with some gift cards courtesy of Ashley HomeStore. We got him a gift card to Amazon and a gift card so he can take his wife out to dinner. Let's go thank Brad. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you Mr. Pearson?
I am.
How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we got a message late last night from someone who knows you telling us about a pretty heroic thing that you did. Was it just yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah. Would you mind sharing what happened?
I was working. I'm working from home. I work for Mountain View Hospital, and I'm working from home at my computer. And I heard something. It sounded like talking at first, and I wasn't sure what I heard. So I came to my front door, and I looked out, and I saw a gentleman in the pasture, on the other side of my pasture, and I thought he was kneeling down fixing a riser. And so I didn't think anything of it. I walked back in the house, and I got to my kitchen chair where I sit and do my work, and I went to sit down, and God told me that I needed to come back out to the porch. So I came out to the porch, and I hollered out to the gentleman. He's a Hispanic gentleman, and I hollered out to him and asked him if he's okay. And in his broken English, he said, "Policey, policey." And then he leans down and picks up a man. And so I see a man sitting there, and he looks unconscious. And so I ran out my door and got my phone out and called 911, and for whatever reason got disconnected a few times, but by the time I got to my mailbox, I had 911 on the phone. And as I was hurrying out to him, and she said, "Is he breathing?" And I said, "Well, I need an ambulance immediately." And I says, "I've got a man down," and they asked if he was breathing, and I said, "I'm being told he is, but I don't know for sure." Mm-hmm. And as I got to him, and I asked the gentleman, "Let's lay him down," and I checked, he wasn't breathing, and he had no pulse. And so I immediately started CPR. I just kept doing it until the paramedics got there. And
how long was that?
I don't know exactly. She had me on the line about 7 or 8 minutes, and most of that, almost all of that time, I was doing CPR. And then I believe she hung up as they started pulling down our lane, and it took a minute or so to transition. So it seemed like an eternity.
That's a long time to do chest compressions, though, because isn't it pretty exhausting?
It's extremely exhausting, and I felt like I asked my Heavenly Father multiple times to help me so that I could help this man, because I don't have much strength, and I was able to keep doing it. So I kind of feel like it was a huge miracle.
From what I have heard, the guy survived.
I understand that he's going to pull through and do okay. They said it was really touch and go at first. Paramedics had to use an AED on him multiple times, and they had a machine doing chest compressions, and they worked on him in my field for 30 plus minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Before they transported him. But when they transported him, they said he had a chance because he was breathing with oxygen and he had a pulse. So,
oh my word.
So I feel like it was a huge miracle. The fact that I heard him in the first place and went out there, and the fact that I was able to do that. I mean, and I've been a physical therapist for over 35 years. And I've never once had to do chest compressions in a hospital situation or anything. I've been trained my whole career, and I've been in other emergency situations, but never had to do chest compressions, and that was pretty crazy.
So how are you doing today?
I'm exhausted. I've been dealing with some issues myself. That's why I'm working from home, but I'm just grateful to God that I could be a tool in his hand. That I could help somebody that needed help, and it looks like it turned out great.
It's amazing. We're grateful too, and we want to honor you for our Feel Good Friday segment. I know you didn't do this for any glory or anything,
no, not at all.
But we figured because you are home, you can do some online shopping, and then hopefully you can make it out to dinner and go with whoever you want.
Perfect.
But we're
my sweetheart, my wife. So
well, good.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much, Brad.
Your local Ashley HomeStore is spreading good news by bringing you Feel Good Friday.